All right, Kim, we were just joking around how you just found me, so it took some time, right? And that's what happens with technology. Sometimes you lose the links or whatever. And but we didn't lose connection with each other. So I got a chance to meet you at the Born to Risk event, the book launch and everything. And it was great to see you that Friday, even before we went on a yacht. And we were able to talk a little bit then, but we were able to at least be around other people and enjoy the conversations and connecting. And so I'm glad we did talk eventually, and here we are still connecting and talking today. And I was in, I really wanted you to come on the podcast to share a lot about what you've been through, a lot of what you're doing. Because I know you mentioned speaking and stuff, and I seen you at a speaking event not too long ago. I saw that on Facebook, so congrats there. And yeah, I just love to open it up for you right now, Kim. So like, let's just start with like, who are you today? What are you focusing on at the moment?
Who am I today? That's a good question. Who are you? That's a good question. Who are you? Well, first and foremost, and I am a child of God. So I have to always start with that I am a child of God. That's who I am. And the reason I have to start with that is because I wasn't always. My life was completely different. And so praise be to God, it has changed. So I have to start with that. Who am I? Well, I'm quirky. I'm sometimes annoying. But I'm
Okay.
a mental wellness coach, a workplace mental wellness coach. I'm a speaker, I'm an author, I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a friend, I'm all those things that we all are. I'm a go-getter, I'm a visionary, I'm a dreamer. I'm trying to get dreamer out of my vocabulary and focus more on visionary. I have a vision, I don't have a dream. And some people might say, what's the difference? Well, I feel sometimes dreams stay back there and visions you go for in the future, you move towards, right? So I'm always thinking and it drives me nuts. But who am I? I'm a lover of people. I am a lover of people. I love to help. I'm a servant at heart. And that sounds really arrogant, servant at heart. Aren't we all? Well, maybe, maybe not. But I am. I'm coming to realize in my second half of life that I truly, truly do love serving people. And it sounds corny, but I do not apologize.
And you shouldn't, right? Because it's deep down inside of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever had anybody kind of like tell you stop?
Yes.
Yeah.
All the time.
What
All
was
the
that
time.
like?
I self-reflect a lot. I really internalize people's words. And as a mental wellness coach, shame on me. Because, a mechanic sometimes has the messiest yard full of car parts and cars on cinder blocks. You know what I mean? Like it's easier to preach than it is to practice. But I internalize a lot of stuff and I take it to the Lord and I'm just like, okay, do I need to stop? Do I need to slow down? And sometimes I'm like, okay, I can learn from what they're saying because I'm not that arrogant. There's a lot of truth in what people say. And so you have to kind of dig through whether it should sit on your shoulders, should you do something about it, or just say, they don't know, right?
Hmm.
And so I do internalize it, but because I'm learning to really love who I am right now, I I just let it go more than I ever have. I think I'm starting to embrace my difference, that I am different. I am annoying sometimes because of my boldness. I'm very bold and people they don't know how to handle that, right? People like itchy ears. Like just tell me what I want to hear. Don't tell me all this truth stuff. So,
Yeah. So would it visionary be kind of like letting the things roll off?
is it? Is a
I
visionary?
I'm asking you. I think so. It sounds because you're going forward, right? And you just don't
I
want to.
guess so. Yeah. Yeah. More so lately, I would say in the last couple of years, the last year for sure. The
Hmm.
last year I have decided, and John, we met at the Born to Risk weekend.
Hmm.
That weekend really kind of changed my life, my internal conversation. That Shark Tank or what was it called that I was in?
I walked in the room when it was still going on, so I didn't catch the beginning of it. Is that what they called it though? It probably did.
Well, because the Born to Risk has the
Like
shark on the label.
cage or something. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was in the hot seat basically
Uh,
and had people speak into my life, and it really changed me. It really changed me because I'm my worst critic, as most of us are. And I'm starting to realize my worth. I'm starting to realize it's okay. It's okay to be me. It's okay. And I guess being a visionary, that's a must because you got to keep moving forward. And for years of my life, up until I would say the last two, really seriously, I would allow these things to stop me. I started so many things and I became good. And then people would have some words for me that weren't positive, whether they were true or out of jealousy, out of anger, whatever. I would stop everything and really say, oh my, it must be true. I must be not really worthy of doing this. I must be a hypocrite. I must be this. I must be that. And I noticed a pattern. I noticed a pattern in my life. And I'm always talking about patterns to my clients, right? Cognitive behavioral therapy. I'm always talking about patterns, renewing the mind. And here is me, the coach. I'm like, wow, maybe I really should stop this business because I can't even take that to my own heart. But the last couple of years, I feel like I'm breaking free. I feel like I've just, the cage door was always open and I thought it was locked. All I had to do was push it forward. That's how I feel the last couple of years. And it's just amazing. It's just great.
hmm I'll agree with what happened in that room when I know I walked in a little later and it was still going on, and you were standing up in the middle, of everybody around the table. I was back towards the side there, and so I could feel it, and I know you had your emotions going too, so it was definitely deep
Yeah.
for you.
Yep.
So yeah, I could tell it was definitely life changing for you, and that was the day before the yacht, right? And so then
Yeah.
you just took that and you floated right into that day, and you just like had a blast.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I owned it.
yeah, so I felt that. So I agree with what you went through, just from a bystander. And do you feel like you were serving so many you're serving so many people that now you're kind of like freeing yourself and being you, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And I'm still serving people because
Hmm.
honestly, I feel like that's in my DNA. Like I feel, Christ came to serve, not be served, right? And so he lives in me, so it's part of my DNA. And I still serve people, but I feel like I'm understanding and realizing it's okay to serve myself too, and that makes me a better server for you, if that makes any sense.
Yes.
That old expression, you can't take care of somebody else unless you take care of yourself. You can't love somebody else unless you love yourself. Those things that we just roll our eyes at, they're so true. They're so
Mhm.
true. Yeah.
They are true. And unfortunately, we tend to want to give to so many other people, right? That we don't focus on ourselves. Me as well, with the stuff I dealt with in the past, looking back, I could be like, I was just like, I put it in terms as being like in a mold, like going to work, coming home, taking care of the kids, family, et
Yeah.
cetera, and just go to bed, wake up to it again, right?
Yeah.
And so society kind of puts us in that position. And so we have to break free. And
Yeah.
I would love to see, if you could share something that you experienced that kind of maybe start breaking some of that.
Something I started experience to help me break that.
Yeah.
I went through a bit of a mental, wow, what would I call that? A couple of years ago, I went through something.
Hmm.
I went through something and mentally it started to break me. I come from a past that many of us have, full of trauma, full of stuff. And through my life, I thought I got over it. I thought I worked through it. I thought I forgave them. I thought I forgave me. And just so many triggers started coming into my life that I couldn't handle them. I couldn't, I teach mental resilience, and so many years ago, I really didn't have it. I thought I did. but I didn't have it. I was coping by ignoring, by hiding, by stuffing it down in there somewhere and thinking, no, you're good, you're okay. And then all these triggers started showing up, and I'm grateful for them. I'm grateful for that meltdown. I literally had a meltdown, and life happens, things happen. I went back to school at 50 years old, try to figure out my life. Like I can't keep every couple of years keep going through this. It's not healthy for me, it's not healthy for my family, for anybody. And I'm sure everybody's tired of me going through all of these things. And so I went back to school to become a cognitive behavioral therapist. Wow. Can I tell you that that was like a godsend to me because I had to go through therapy first.
Hmm.
The school I went to wouldn't accept me as a student until I went to therapy. And wow, I've been to therapy before. I've never been to a coach, if you will. And so going through that therapy, then allowing me into the school and all the training that I'm going through, it was intense training, obviously. And I internalized all of it. I took it like, okay, I'm going to be helping people with all of this. I need to do it too. And I think that was the turning point for me when I went back to school. That really started to shape me, started to allow me to say, it's okay to not be okay. Because I've always been very prideful, very prideful person. Like, I can do this on my own. I'm good. I'm okay. And nobody would know except for my immediate, the people who live with me.
Mhm.
Man, they suffered through some stuff, but um, it's okay not to be okay. And it's okay to love yourself through all of that. So I think John, that was my turning point when I went back to school. And it took me longer than my course because I kept taking or my yeah, all of the courses semesters I took because I took more and more because I was hungry. It wasn't about me opening my own business anymore.
Mhm.
It was about I was so hungry. I hope you can hear this. Maybe your listeners understand this. I started opening my heart. I started opening my mind. I was a Christian, but man, I didn't let the Lord in. And through my training and then opening up my own business, I said, wow, technically I can start having clients now. I can do this all. I'm certified, I'm legal, I'm all these things, and I got the plaques and trophies and all these things to prove it. But I thought, no, no way, because I want to be the best that I can be for them. And I was so hungry for me, and it was opening my whole world. And then when I finally said, okay, I'm ready for clients, it changed my world. Changed my world. Because now I'm not a fraud. I've been through it. I've done it. I've done the training. I've done the counseling. I've done the therapy. I've just done it all. And we can grow together. And when I say that, some people might think, well, you shouldn't be growing with your clients. You should be able to help them. And that is 100% true. But love thy neighbor as you love thyself. And when you're loving somebody else, you have to love yourself. And so you grow together. And it's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing.
It is. With what you just shared, would you say that the therapy coach kind of like opened the door for you and that was your healing process? So if you never went back to school, you could still be dealing with whatever it was.
I think I'm not even going to say could, I would still be
Hmm.
dealing with what it was. Every couple of years, everything's going to be great. Life's great. And then triggers come and I don't know how to handle them and I fall. So yeah, I would still be in that cycle, if you will. And yeah, that changed my life.
And I loved how you shared that you went to school, you learned everything, but you also experienced it in your life, right? Prior
Yeah.
to going to school to help other people. And I don't know statistics or anything, but I'm willing to bet most people start going to school before anything really ever happens in their life to help other people that are older and that have experienced stuff, you know? So it's
Yeah.
kind of, I mean, how's that like work, right?
Yeah.
So you get to bring that to the table. And so do you find like your clients and stuff like being more open and you can go bounce things off of each other?
Yeah, absolutely. And it depends on the client,
Hmm.
right? Like my job is not to just download my stuff. They're downloading their stuff into me. So I don't download my stuff into them, but it's real. I can empathize and say, I get it. I don't understand because I'm not walking in your shoes, but I can understand as far as I've been to similar things. You know, years ago, I had a few experiences. I can see the path. I can see it so clearly how the Lord was leading me this whole time, even from a young girl, all the trauma, everything. I can see how the Lord was leading me to this day. And I wasn't even a believer back then. And it's just, I think if we give ourselves a chance, go get therapy, go to a coach, even professionals, yourself. There's always, because you're a coach, you know, there's always something that we can learn too, always growing. And a coach needs a coach, a doctor needs a doctor, a mechanic need, a doctor, all these things. A preacher needs a therapist, a pastor needs a pastor. So we're not exempt just because we're in that industry. As a coach, I think it's very important for coaches to go be coached somewhere along the line.
Hmm. I, I I agree. And so you bring up faith a lot, like right now, and you just mentioned how like you didn't have that way back then. Uh, I don't know where that turning point is, but what what happened? Like what kind of like at least got you interested, right? I'm wondering because I have a little bit of a journey of my mine as well, but so I'm curious what happened for you.
Well, I don't think we have time.
You can do it.
I don't think we have time for that story, so I'll try and condense it. I think throughout my life, there was always something.
Okay.
I remember as a little girl praying. I don't know who I was praying to. I remember as a teenager praying. I don't know who I was praying to because I believed in God, right? I didn't really know this Jesus, heard of him, didn't know him. So I've always believed something. But, life happens. And one day what I quit my life. Okay. Everybody thought I went crazy. I quit my job and I didn't have another job. I was very active in different sports. I played ball for years and years, just quit. I was a skydiver for years. I just quit. I changed my phone number, didn't tell a soul, didn't tell anybody. I moved. I moved, didn't tell anybody. I quit my life. And I was in my apartment, didn't unpack because my heart, I've always moved so many times in life that why unpack? I'm just going to move again. Like I couldn't find rest. And I remember sitting on the mattress, which was still on the floor, and just crying out, God, I've heard about you. And if you are who they say you are, you better reveal yourself to me tonight because I'm not giving you another chance. I want to know you. I can't do this. I look at me. But John, he didn't answer.
Hmm.
But it was the starting point because I remember it. I still feel it. I still get emotional when I think about it. For 24 hours. And I'm not exaggerating. It might have been more, but it was at least 24 hours. I stayed on that floor sobbing and bawling. I didn't move. I didn't go to the bathroom. I didn't eat. I didn't drink. I was just sobbing and bawling and saying, if you don't intervene, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. And show me, reveal. He didn't really, but in a powerful way. But what I see now, retrospect, the days and weeks and months that followed, he knew that my heart wasn't ready for what he had for me. And eventually I went to a church and he spoke clearly to me. And I know that sounds weird. And for your listeners who are not faith-based, I'm not crazy. Well, maybe, but I sat there and I literally had sweat. Like, I know this sounds gross, but sweat just dripping down me. I could feel it and I couldn't move my head. It was like I was paralyzed. All I was screaming inside. I just wanted to run. Like I felt trapped. I felt paralyzed. And the pastor, because what he was talking about that day, my first time in this church, what he was talking about that day, he was staring at my soul. And it was like nobody existed in that church. Not it was probably about 500 people. I was alone. And what he was talking about, I was like, how does he know? How does he know? How does this pastor's never met me before? And I got out of there and I said, okay, I'll give you one more chance. I went back to that church again and somebody remembered my name, which to me, oh, I get emotional, is a big deal because I've always felt invisible. Always. I've always been an extrovert. I've always hid everything very well. And when somebody that never met me before, I came back the next week, came and said, Kim, oh my gosh, it's so great to see you again. I was floored, and that was the beginning of my journey. And I now know that it was the Lord telling me he knew me, he saw me,
Mhm.
and he loved me. That was
I
the
love that.
beginning of my journey.
That's good. That's good. And so you continued to go to church, and did you start reading
Oh
the
yeah.
Bible and scripture and
Oh,
everything? Or
I continued to grow. I'm still continuing to grow. I started with one foot in the Word and one foot in
hmm
with the Lord, the Word in the world, for a couple of years. Like, because I was like, I don't want to be one of those Christians. I even told my pastor, I don't want to be one of you. Like, my life's
hmm
going to be boring. I'm going to have a lot of rules. Like, I was a rebel. I still am a rebel. I'm just a Christian rebel now. But yeah, I'm in love with my Jesus. I'm in love with my Jesus. And now it's like he's my breath, right? Like it's every day. He's not just a part of some days and some, he's my all.
Yeah. What time frame is this? Like how old was this when you were?
Oh, I was older. Okay, I always go by the age of my daughter. She's 22. I
Okay.
think she was 4. I'm 53. So, yeah, I was in my 30s, late 30s.
Okay.
She was 4. So I was in my mid 40s.
Okay. Yeah,
That
I'm
I
just trying to get an idea for like, everybody's got their own path, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's interesting.
I, yeah, so it is I started the path a while ago,
hmm
but I didn't really commit. And so my daughter's 22. She was about 4 when I went to church, that church, I think. I think she was about 4, 3 or 4. And yeah, and I'm 53, so
Good for you. That's
not that
great.
long.
Yeah, but so you didn't commit. Did something get in the way where you just didn't go down that path then?
I got in the way.
You got in the way.
I got in the way. Because we bring our past with us to the future, right?
Yeah.
And so I got in my own way because I have had to really take care of myself for since I was a teenager. And before that, basically, my sister and I took care of each other. So there's this thing in you that it's built in, it's innate, it's a part of you, and you can't just cut it off. Well, I couldn't just cut it off in one stroke, right? Like it just you have to really you have to get through those things. And sometimes you don't even know they're there. So how do you break free from something you don't even know you're imprisoned by?
hmm
And so it took years because I had people speaking into my life and being such a prideful person and having to have raised my daughter, and it took a long time for me to commit because commit, that's a bad word in my language. It was a bad word in my language. So that was hard. Nobody's going to tell me what to do.
Oh boy. So you don't commit now? Or you do
Oh,
commit
now I
now,
do.
right? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, I still,
But
yeah.
in other things too, right? You commit to other things. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a committer.
Love it. Awesome. How can somebody like reach out and connect with you? And feel free to tap in a little bit too about like your speaking opportunities, your journey there. And I'm because we didn't touch on any of that. And I know where we were, you're like all about speaking, you were a judge. And so
Yeah.
we can let's talk a little bit about that first, and then we'll get to the how people
Okay.
connect with you.
Okay, and make sure you interrupt me if I go off because I don't know how much time we have and I talk too much
Oh,
sometimes.
I will stop you for sure. You're good.
Just interrupt me, just ding ding the bell. So I have been speaking longer than I was before I went to school for mental health therapy. I've
Okay.
been speaking. I went to Toastmasters for about 5 years. Even in high school, I was a speaker. I loved public speaking from a very young age. And I am a firm believer in the power of our voice. Everybody has a story. Everybody. And the only problem is we don't take time to listen. We'll ask people how they are, but do we really care? Right? And so speaking was always an outlet for me to, it was therapy. It started off as therapy. I got to tell my story, and more people were like, wow, I can't believe you said that, it's like you were speaking right to me, or they would be like, me too. And so I realized I wasn't alone, which really lit a fire under me because I want others to know that they're not alone. And so speaking allows me to open that door. It allows me to bring people to the power of their own voice. Because when they hear me, they can maybe go back and do those like me too. And oh my gosh, I'm not alone. And maybe I need to get this out. And I also love to speak and how to incorporate scripture into our life without being religious. So I love to speak on faith-based subjects, but even when I don't speak faith-based, because I get hired by a lot of companies to come in,
Mm.
they don't know that I'm adding scripture because you could do that without them knowing. But I love speaking. I have been blessed to speak in many, many places in the world, and the Lord just keeps opening up more and more doors. They're not all faith-based, but most of them are. I love speaking. I love connecting it now with my mental wellness coaching. A lot of companies bring me in to speak on mental resilience that I can now speak on,
Mm.
right? And yeah, so that's just something that I love speaking to women. I love women's conferences. I'm a women's conference. I just love them because we're so powerful. And so are you, John. Men are very, very
Mm.
powerful and
Yeah.
men have a place. I'm a feminists hate me. Honestly, feminists hate me because I really truly believe in the order of things and men are the leaders. Sorry, women, if you're like hating me all of a sudden, but there is a reason for it. I'm not talking about lording it over us. I'm not talking about, you know, authoritative,
Mm.
but a leader. We have to have leaders, or else it's anarchy. But I love to speak to women because we don't allow the men to lead. We don't feel, and when we do lead, I think we're so timid. We're so timid, and I think we just kind of do it wrong. And we got to learn together how to do it right, to be good leaders and let others lead us. But I love speaking to women. I love women to know their worth, to know their value, their strength, to know how much Jesus loves them. Did you know that it was women that Jesus revealed his sovereignty, his godship, if you will? It was a woman first. It was a woman first that he revealed when he was resurrected. He loves women. He was a rebel for women.
Oh man, you're gonna open a can of worms here because
I know.
with the whole like I can go on some stuff too, like the connection, communication, masculine, feminine, all that stuff, right? And so we won't dive in that now. So maybe you'll have to do it again some other time. But no, I am forever grateful that you shared that because there's not much of that going on. I know it's slightly changing with the group of people I'm around. Like you can feel it, you know it. Um,
Yeah,
but mainstream, it's all over the place of how
it is.
everybody's yeah, we're it's the sexes against the sexes and it's disgusting.
It's everything against everything. We're not going to get into politics here,
Right.
but it's everything against everything. We don't even
Yeah.
know what we're fighting about anymore. And so we just need to just relax. My goodness.
That's exactly right. Just breathe, right?
Just
Focus,
breathe.
have that visionary mindset there.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. So how can people connect with you, Kim?
So I never mentioned this, so forgive me. My business, my practice is called Developing Inner Excellence because I truly believe that it's already inside of us. Just like that excellence that was inside of me and I never let it come out because of my past, because of my experiences, my pride. It was there. I needed to learn how to bring it out. And so that's what my practice is, developing inner excellence. It's already in there. You just got to develop it and bring it out. Developinginnerexcellence.com is my website. Kim at developinginnerexcellence.com is my email address. And Facebook, well, if you put a hyphen at the end of my name that you see down there, Kimberly Wardell hyphen Croley, Croley, you'll find me on Facebook. Facebook.
Yeah. And I'll put all that in the description, the show notes. Um, so I have one question I ask everybody at the end, and I'm sure I don't know, maybe you don't listen to it yet, but so what are three key things you've learned and used along your journey?
Three th three key things I've learned and used along my journey. Listen, listen more, speak less. As a speaker, that sounds weird, but we got to grow, we got to learn. Listen, love yourself. And the third one, I'm still learning. I'm still learning. I don't even know what it is, John. I thought about this question because I knew you were going to ask this question. I don't know what the third thing is yet because there's so much I have learned and it's so many pockets. And I'm asking the Lord, okay, Lord, what do you want me to do with all this? How do I register all of this? So I honestly said he's going to ask it, he's going to ask it. I don't have three because I'm still learning. But listen, because you don't know everything. That was a punch in the gut to me when I realized I didn't know everything. I always thought I knew everything. We honestly don't. And we need to listen. We need to listen when people speak into our lives. They might not say it the right way. They might be mean, they might be cruel, but there might be some truth to it. And so listen and just go in and say, okay, is any of this true? What can I take away and what do I need to dump in the trash? What do I need to not listen to? So listen and love yourself. It sounds like such a cliche, but we are so angry. We are so uptight. We are so bitter. We are so unforgiving. It keeps us in this poison state. We're drinking all this poison. Learn to love yourself, and that stuff will just start to fall off because you won't care as much about what other people think. We have to care what people think, but to a degree. Third, I don't know, John. I'm sorry. I'm sure every
No,
guest
you're fine. You've learned to learn, right?
I've learned to
So
learn.
yeah,
I'm
you keep
still learning.
growing. Yeah,
And next year I might have three different things to give you when you say, what have you learned?
I hope
Hopefully,
so.
yeah, hopefully.
Yeah,
What have you
what did I
learned?
just say? What have I learned?
Yeah.
I've learned to give myself grace, that
Mm,
and learn how to deal with things, even though that things are hard. And look at all the little things you've done to get to where you are today. So the whole 1% better more, every day, and you'll be so much further down the road if you just focus on that and not like going all in 100%, and then you're just like you maxed out, you're tired, you're done for the next day or two, right? Because now you're not seeing any progress. You did all that and nothing happens. But if you do 1% more over time, it's going to build up. Um,
it's gonna build.
yeah, and I've learned a bunch of other stuff. For
Feel
me,
like me right now.
Huh?
You sound
Am
like
I
me
on?
right now.
Yeah, am I on your podcast? What's going on here? Um, no, but I've yes. So one another thing is I feel like I've learned more on the communication side with going through what I went through and then having a coach at towards the end, and now I get to meet people like yourself, be around people, and you can kind of like just watch, right? And just look at people and kind of pick them out. Also, I want to touch on how you said don't let things, bother you personally and stuff from other people, right? And so, um, what is it? Yeah, the four agreements is right. It's in front of me here. So like that's a book I picked up when I was going through my divorce and everything. And that is where it says don't take things personally. And that was a game changer. It took a long time, but when you just start like they just yell, somebody yells at you for whatever reason, that they're having probably a bad day and they're upset and it's not you. So it's just
Yeah.
like, okay, just let it go past.
That's a good thing to, it's a hard thing to learn.
Hmm.
That is a hard thing to learn. And if I may just add this, it's a hard thing to learn because I believe, and this is something that was just, I just had a revelation about this maybe 3 days ago. We tend to live in a spirit of condemnation. We tend to live in a offended spirit. We're always offended. Oh, they're saying something about me. Instead of thinking, maybe they had a bad day. Maybe they just didn't see you. That's why they didn't say hi. Maybe they have so much going on in their mind and they weren't really being rude to you. They're just in another world. Maybe you go up to them and say, everything okay? Maybe turn it around. And we live in this spirit of condemnation. We're always condemning ourselves because we're always offended by something. And so I love that you said that. And it's really hard to do, but I think it's a must that we learn.
I agree. And it's very hard because of what this society is today, right? Yeah. And that's so if you can step outside of that and just find something, somebody else or your podcast or whatever like that, and just venture into something different,
Yeah.
you'll find it. You'll figure it out. It takes time because you're shifting, right? You're going in a
Yeah.
whole different direction that you have no idea. It's uncomfortable, right? So, but that's where you got to go.
The caterpillar doesn't become a butterfly overnight.
Oh no? Oh.
No,
I
it
know.
takes time.
Yeah,
There's a
it
shift,
does.
there's a change, there's a transformation. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly right. Cool. Kid, this has been awesome. I appreciate you coming on, sharing your journey and, all your speaking engagements and mental health coach. And so thank you.
I want to do a selfless plug. Give me one more minute.
Go ahead.
Selfless plug. Do I have one? Yes, I do. Can you read that? Or it's backwards, isn't it?
So, nope. Silence in the Sanctuary.
Yes, that's my latest book. Silence
Okay.
in the Sanctuary. It's about mental health in the church. It's not pointing the fingers at the church. It's just we don't do a really good job, especially small churches. We don't do a really good job. Like, pray more, you're not having enough faith, or we just don't know what to do with it. And it's a
Mm,
real thing. And maybe they don't have enough faith. Maybe we're not praying hard enough, but we don't need to hear that right at that moment. We need you to stand beside us and say, how can I pray for you? How can I help you? What can we do together? So Silence in the Sanctuary, it's a really good book. Go get it.
yeah. I'll let me add something real quick to that one. So for me, it was like I woke up one day and said, thank you, God, right? After saying thank you forever. And now God just added on. So I know somebody local and I asked him, I'm like, what's this? He's like, I think you're just curious, right? And that was the door for me. Like he didn't press upon and say, come in, learn all this and sit down and all that. He just said, come when you're ready and buy this Bible and that's it. And so that's how I began. And there's never been any pressure from anybody on my end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that shouldn't be from anybody. It should be from the Holy Spirit. So, yeah.
Yeah.
But mental health in the church is a real thing. It's a real thing. They're starting to talk about it in the workplace and the school and everywhere else, but it's not being talked about in the church.
And that's what your book is on.
And that's what my book is on.
Interesting. Oh, good plug.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, Kim. Thank you
Uh,
very much for coming on.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome.